Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
I'm Glennon Doyle, author of Untamed and host of the podcast We Can Do Hard Things. Each week, we talk openly and honestly about the hard things in life together with you. So join us and some of our dearest friends and greatest heroes to talk about anxiety, boundaries, parenting, infidelity, our bodies, loving and losing, all of the things that make us human. Listen to and follow We Can Do Hard Things on Odyssey and everywhere you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Miles. Thank you guys for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast.
Have you heard our newest podcast? It's called The Greatest Story Never Told.
Download it today on radio.com. Be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded every Tuesday at noon.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to Season 16, Episode number 3,470. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. Montgomery. And you are the Men's Room. On tap today, the return of Who Sucks Less. We will play Profile This. Plus headlines, the Men's Room Shot of the Day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted. Click, clack. Trick to draw. All right, here we go. Woman holds a fake funeral for her in-jail ex-boyfriend, so his mistress thinks he's dead. Meanwhile, a Florida man who is actually a Patriots fan gets in a fight about Tom Brady and smacked his friend in the head. Mystery of missing fence posts solved as beaver stole them to build a dam. 28-year-old Florida woman pretends she's a high school student for more followers on the gram. And a Florida designated driver takes friends out on the town and drinks an entire bottle of bourbon. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, fellas, I don't know if you knew this, but for the last 6 years, Chicago, Illinois has been deemed the country's rattiest city because it has such a bad rodent problem. But instead of hiring exterminators or setting traps or poisoning them, Chicago has released approximately 1,000 feral cats onto the streets. And here's the thing, it just might work. Historically speaking, domestic cats have been responsible for, and I quote, the most killings in the world of birds, reptiles, amphibians, and small rodents. In other words, cats are exactly the murderers you thought they were. Now, while Chicago is starting its rat eradication plan, Lahua Island, Hawaii, they're celebrating the fact that it is officially rat-free. They haven't had a rat there in 2 years, but leading up to that, apparently it was a big, big problem. Now, let's skip islands. Let's go to Hilo, Hawaii, where they're dealing with a feral rabbit population. And on Oahu, they're having a little trouble from the invasive coqui frog. Now, you might not know much about the coqui frog. I did not. Just know that they croak all the time, and they croak up to 100 decibels. They're native to Puerto Rico, not Hawaii. They're still trying to figure out how to deal with that. Oh, and in the northern U.S., states there, they're dealing with Brood X. That's the cicada that shows up once every 17 years by the billions. It's hard to put into words what it's like when this happens. It sucks, but it's not personal, right? That's just nature being nature. It gets personal when nature targets you or nature targets your home. There's a family in California, and they do not know why. They had over 800 birds fly into their home through the chimney. These birds are physically in their house, and they're not leaving. And there's nothing. They've tried to open the doors. They've tried to open the windows. The birds will not leave until the birds are ready to leave. The problem is they believe the birds are on their path of migrating. And until they're ready to go, this family, they have 800 birds in their goddamn house. In Texas, an 86-year-old woman, she was forced from her home because of a bed bug infestation. And if you have to deal with this kind of thing, you'd at least hope maybe that nature makes it somewhat comical. Case in point, there's a farming couple in Australia. They had their wedding, and just as the reception started, it was interrupted when their cow gave birth and ruined the bride's wedding dress. She said, well, here's the thing. She was like, it's giving birth. So she ran over there to do it. And they're like, what about your dress? Either way, sometimes nature and humans, we just have to coexist, whether we want to or not. It's not always animals. Sometimes it's the weather. Mudslides, floods, earthquakes, volcanoes, you name it. But that's what we want to talk about today. What did Mother Nature offer up that you did not want to deal with?
Be part of the big show. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
A burst pipe at 3 a.m. is a bad way to start the day. A cold shower in November isn't invigorating. So before you start freaking, call Beacon. Beacon Plumbing, Heating, and Mechanical is just one call away 24 hours a day. 1-800-FREAKIN or beaconplumbing.net.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Hold the shells and away we go. Welcome to Season 16, Episode number 3,470. What a large and a charged program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat. Exciting return of Who Sucks Less. Stevie bring us 3 stories from the news. Each and every week they all suck, but it's up to us to determine out of the 3 stories which one sucks the least. How we lined up this week on Who Sucks Less.
I don't think any of these people really piss you off. It's just silly, dumb stuff.
Okay.
In all 3 cases, just like, what are you doing?
I'm ready to be pissed.
I think the term Mike used in the office is just pathetic.
I'm waiting for a lighter one. Like one where you talk about that woman who dumped all the Prego on the counter that made spaghetti that way. Like, for some reason, that just made me angry.
That's how she does it. I don't care.
Yeah, I know. It's my personal thing. It's like, sometimes you see something and you go like, man, oh man, I know that doesn't matter. I know I should not care. I don't know why I do. Why is this making me angry? Who Sucks Less coming up?
And you know what, Montgomery, I'm with you.
I mean,
the hell with that lady.
I don't know why. It's like, it doesn't matter. Who cares? You're right, Steve. Our question today is, what did Mother Nature offer up that you did not want to deal with? And Mother Nature comes in all forms and fashions, whether it be a riptide, it could be a storm, it could be animals, it could be all kinds of different things. But we start here in Chicago, and like a lot of major metropolitan areas, Chicago has a rodent problem. Difference is they have a bigger rodent problem than most places. One so bad, city is deemed the rattiest city in the nation for the last 6 years. Now, when we lived in Baltimore, there was quite the rat population. Older city, but I can't even imagine a feral rat or a feral cat being able to take on the rats that are the size of the rats in Baltimore. I'm going to assume that the rats in Chicago maybe are not as big.
They're not as big. You wouldn't bother to use cats on the, So Baltimore, specifically the Australian,
it's like a wharf
ground rat and the Baltimore wharf rat. Anyway, like any 2 species, they have sex, and then their offspring's like 3 times bigger than they are. But now that's the only kind of rat in town. So when we lived there, you would hear a single cat take on a single rat in the alley, and it was a 50-50 shot. You either woke up the next day to a dead cat, or a dead rat. So, like, that just would not work.
They're as big as raccoons, honestly.
Yeah, they're huge.
They're almost 20 pounds. These rats are
The first time
insane.
I saw a rat here, I can't remember, somewhere downtown, it's like it scurried across the sidewalk running from one group of bushes to another. My wife kind of freaked out and said that was a rat. I'm like, that was a mouse. She's like, it was a rat. We went back and forth. We see another one. I'm like, come on, man. I mean, it's a big mouse. That's not a rat.
I don't worry about the rats in Fremont because they're just not as big as what I'm used to.
Yeah,
so when I see them, I'm like, oh, look, it's a rat. How you doing, buddy? Like it's like a pet or something. You know what I mean? It just looks like a little cute little mouse for the most
But
part.
I didn't realize that Baltimore had such big. I didn't know. Like, you just see a rat there, and it's what you know. So to me, rats are rather large for the general description. But at one point, Baltimore City, its rat problem got big. And just like in Seattle, now that Seattle's digging up downtown everywhere, Baltimore was putting in a subway system. And like anything, once you dig it up, all the rats came out. So they're all over the city. And so they then contacted New York City, because New York City is notorious for rats and all that. But the guys in New York City that dealt with their subway system said, yeah, we will be right down. We can handle this. This is all we do in New York. And so these guys came down, and it was all over the news. They were like, we can't help you.
No.
Like, this is different, man. These things are so goddamn big.
Dude, I'm with Miles. Like, Baltimore, because we've all lived in Baltimore, and I was used to just massive rats in our alley.
But then you just think that's the standard size, right?
Right. So then when I saw some finally in Seattle, it took me a second to be like, is that a rat?
Get the hell out of here.
It looks like a large mouse.
I've opened up a dumpster downtown just to throw a cigarette butt away or whatever. And I look down and there's just rats. I mean, just crawling everywhere. I'm like, oh, look at the rats. Like, it doesn't
That's
even.
not bad. But they're not aggressive either. The ones that they hissed it like they challenge you. I picked one of those goddamn things up. It was an accident. Won't go through the whole story, but I had accidentally thrown away a beach towel. It's in the trash can. So I'm then ordered to go back to the trash can. No big deal. I'm going to grab the beach towel. The beach towel feels like a towel. So I stick my hand in the dark can and I feel the beach towel and I pick it up and it's a rat. And it's this weird moment because I pick it up and we're both like staring at each other for about a one Mississippi count. Like, what do either of us do now? So I just threw the thing as far as I could, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah. You're lucky you didn't get bit by the damn thing.
Yes.
There was a woman up here, and I want to say it was Skagit County. There was a bat in her yard a couple days ago. And the thing was either injured or whatever, and she just wanted to help it and move it along and get out of the yard. That thing bit her like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, it's a bat.
And it was rabid.
Aren't all bats rabid?
No, they're not.
They're very susceptible to rabies, but they're not all rabid.
And what do we learn about...
That's what they told me when I was a kid.
That's because you don't want kids...
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to tell kids, well, it's only about 10%. You say, they're all rabid.
Yeah, the guano has a little bit of...
Every one of them's rabid. Don't mess with bats, kids. That's exactly what...
Well, I'm bald, so I don't sweat bats.
Their poop has a lot of kind of crazy stuff in it.
What do you mean you don't sweat rats because you're bald?
Or bats.
Bats, because you're bald. They're blind, homie.
Are bats not attracted to heads of hair?
No.
I mean, they're blind.
Jesus, man.
Maybe they are, but they're blind. I just don't know.
They work more on sonar, kind of.
I know they work on sonar, but there was...
Or echolocation.
I was told they're all rabid, and they attack people's hair.
No, I mean, they can get caught in someone's hair.
Because most people have hair, so technically...
They're not going to bounce off.
They're all rabid and hate bald people. That is
one day I'm just going to do a live show, and I'll call it Nature Facts from PG County. With a bunch of people that have never left PG County.
Call in with your corrections.
Yeah, right? It'll be Mike's whole segment.
Well, in Chicago, here's the solution. One local animal shelter has been hard at work combating the issue, and they're using a rather, as they say, low-tech method. It released hundreds of feral cats onto the city streets to go after these rats. You would have to think that these cats have also been spayed and neutered.
They have been. They said, look, we took care of that. But they say it's low-tech. But, man, I'm telling you, cats are the ultimate predator if you got to deal with stuff like that.
They actually have a Cats at Work program. The Treehouse Humane Society has sent more than 1,000 feral felines upon the Chicago streets since 2012, using cats that, after being captured and neutered or spayed, can't return to their former colonies for various reasons. They've been abandoned or whatever the deal was. These cats are placed in pairs or threesomes into commercial and residential areas to go after the rodents, offering a form of pest control that does not hurt the environment. Cats do sometimes actually catch the rats and devour them. That's not the main way they rid sites of rodents. The cats are actually deterring them with their pheromones. That's enough to keep the rats away.
Yeah,
so
if
in
you
Chicago,
smell something that's going to kill you,
you can hire a kitten or 2 or 3, basically, to take care of a rat infestation if you want to personally get involved in this. From maybe you got a home that has a problem, so you can call them and get on a list, and then pay for the feral cats, and they'll bring them out. And
so I got my first cat ever, man. At this ratty ass apartment in Baltimore, and it wasn't rats, it was mice. And I mean, and the landlord, she didn't care. It was very micey. Adopted this cat, man. In 24 hours. There was not a peep. And I don't think the cat ate them all, but like you said, the mice smelled the cat and they're like, I'm out. Yeah. By the way, just real quick, bats are not blind. We've learned something else. Says,
all right.
Bats are not blind. Well, one says bats are not blind. Someone else, Thrill, bats are not blind. Bats are not blind. They use echolocation to hunt, but they can definitely see. Then someone else says bats aren't more susceptible to rabies. It's just that they have claws that are so small that they can scratch you without you knowing it and transmit rabies.
What about the hair theory?
So far, people seem to know a lot about bats. I've seen nothing about the bald head. So either you're right or they feel so bad for you that they...
I mean, my dad was bald. Maybe he just said that to kind of make fun of people with hair.
Maybe. Yeah. You can be attacked by a bat.
Since we're working for the Baltimore Department of Tourism for some reason today. Who
doesn't want to go now?
Yeah, back in the day, I would go over to Steve's place, speaking of the cats. And after work, we would just sit down, smoke weed, try to figure out what we're going to do for tomorrow's show. But the 2 cats you had for a while?
Sticky and Loki.
They were both infested with fleas.
There's a lot of fleas.
Now to the point where it looked like popcorn. Like, you sat down and just things were popping around everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the thing was that they did not bite Steve.
Because they're racist.
They didn't
like black people.
They bit me.
I mean, it beat the little... They absolutely lit into me to the point where it was like, at times, driving home, I would be driving home and see fleas that were hopping on my dashboard. They were
You're welcome.
They were with me. I get home every once in a while. I see one hop across. I'm like, geez.
I like it here, man.
I don't have anything for you to live on, so they didn't really stick around too much. But the thing was that when I went home, all right, to my apartment in Baltimore, I was dealing with a mice infestation. So I'd get on the couch, start smoking weed, watching television, and I'd see a big-ass mouse run across my living room and then disappear into the kitchen.
Sure.
And I could not figure out for the life of me, where is the hole in the kitchen? And I mean, I had a little closet with a washer and dryer unit in there. So I get in there. I'm trying to think, are they coming through the duct vent or whatever? And finally, I don't know what the hell. I went through all the cabinets to see, where is this crack?
Because they would leave his turds on your counter.
Oh, they would come in.
Wherever they pooped, it was on his kitchen counter. And then they would go somewhere else.
Meanwhile, I still got an occasional flea jumping around, and a rat flies by or a mouse flies by. I finally pulled the oven, all right? And there was a vent on the back of the oven. And that's where the mice were coming in. So I finally figured out at least where they were coming in. So I stuffed a rag in that hole. That was my first move. Just go stuff a rag in there. Going to see what happens. Come home the next day, pull the oven out. The rag has been pushed out of the hole.
Of course.
I mean, I don't know if they had a team of them. I mean, I jammed that thing in there, twisted it. You know what I mean? They're not getting through this. There's no way. All they got through that rag. No problem at all. So it took me about 2 weeks for me to figure out. I went out and bought mouse traps. No sale. Nothing would work. I mean,
they probably looked at it and said, that thing could kill you, man.
And I had Kraft slices, singles on there, man. I had some good cheese and all types of things.
They don't want your Kraft singles. They want your Gouda.
Right. So, but I did. I mean, I had good cheese. And I did this for a long time. So I think I was talking to a guy we work with named Kenny Cardoza. And he had mice in his house as well. And he said, hey, man, I'll tell you what works. You got to get glue traps. Mm-hmm. So I was like, all right, I'll get glue traps, man. So I set the glue traps up on my countertops, all right? I put the cheese on the glue traps. Another week goes by, nothing.
That is not true.
Nothing.
You did not catch a mouse. But I remember we went back to your place, we looked at the glue trap. Every other critter in there, silverfish, spiders, ants, cat,
millipedes.
Everything was stuck to the glue trap that he didn't know he had, except the mice. But next to the glue trap is another pile of mouse turds. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's why they look at it.
So,
the cheese is missing.
I'm like, it's like fishing. You're just like, who the hell took my bait? So anyway, finally, I found out the technique to use, and I can't remember who told me this, Cheetos. Mm. Cheetos.
Crunchy.
I mean, they are...
Yeah, they don't mess with puffs.
Mice love Cheetos.
Who doesn't like Cheetos?
Yeah, but like mouse eat cheese, all that stuff. Like you don't really think that like the moon's made of cheese. Like where the hell did the mice and the rats get this highfalutin taste for cheese? You know what I'm saying? Like there's no other animal out there that like you go, oh, horses love caviar. You know what I mean? It's like no other animals associated with a human food like mice are with cheese.
Well, maybe we should give them a little bit of a break. We call them a nuisance, but obviously they would be, if they were people, they'd be the foodie wine drinking crowd.
Exactly. Yeah. So
they would go to restaurants that only have one name. I went to Foie and had the most delicious. I don't know why everyone calls me a rodent. Yeah. Sure, I have scabies, but it doesn't matter.
Is mouse and cheese, is that even a real thing?
I don't know. I mean, because everyone says it, but who? I think it's just this. I think they're going to eat any goddamn thing you drop on the floor, but for whatever reason,
they like cheese.
We just say cheese, and now everyone believes it. But I think if you put Captain Crunch, they're going to eat that too.
Yeah, or maybe it was just back in the day, like cheese was one of the things they had, and they would eat it.
That homecoming party, or that home warming party that our old producer Eric had, he had a huge cheese plate. I mean, a tray, like a 2-foot wide tray, circle tray, all kinds of different cheeses on it. So I, of course, take a handful of it, go out in the back alley, and start whipping it at these rats, man. And they are, I mean, before you know it, there are 1,000 pairs of eyes on me.
It was like seagulls on the beach.
I mean, it took literally 2 minutes, and he was so pissed off because his cheese was expensive.
That was $90 a pound.
I felt like I was the rat whisperer, man. I was just out there whipping cheese at him. I'm pretty tuned up at this point anyway, so I really don't care. But either way, so I put the Cheeto on the glue trap, right? And first night I do this, I made one giant mistake that I didn't even think of. Back in the day, I used to put stuff on my kitchen counter. Now, I don't know why I did that because I knew the mice were up there, but I had the bag of Cheetos. In the bag of Cheetos, I had a chip clip on, had like an onion on the counter, a couple of bananas, something else, but I kept my chips on the counter because I really didn't have a drawer for them or anything, whatever. The whole bottom of the Cheeto bag has been chewed into. They didn't go in through the top. They chewed in through the bottom of the
Because it's easier for them to chew to the bottom than operate a chip clip.
So,
anyone here have opposable thumbs? No. All right. So through the bag.
Now I'm not eating these Cheetos, but I put them in a little plastic bag. I'm going to put this on the glue trap. I'm going to get this done because I was going to do it the night before, and I did, and I just ate the chips and went to bed and didn't put it on there. The next day, I put the Cheeto on there. And I think Steve came over that afternoon, man, if I'm not mistaken.
Ted was there, too.
And Ted was there, too, and there's this Miles.
Ted wanted to light it on fire.
And he's just spread out. And he's like an inch from the Cheeto. I mean, he's close. He still got his mouth open, like So I tried to peel his ass off there. You know what I mean? Just see if I could. You can't peel. He was like ripping the hair off him.
Yeah,
like you can't. It was like I waxed his belly.
You're like Rose in Tacoma.
So
there's a waxing.
Yeah. So there was this retention pond right behind my house. It was like a sewage dump. So I just took that thing and whipped it into the bushes. That was the end of him. Tried it a couple more times. I think that was the end of my mouse problem.
Remember, we're looking at this mouse, and we're all lamenting. And as we're all looking at this mouse, it's like trying to look straight up at us.
Yeah, dude, help us.
But we're all kind of like, damn, man, look how close he is to the cheetah. I mean, like,
he's so close.
And like, you kind of felt bad. So Miles is like, what do I do with it? This is after Miles tries to peel it off, and Ted's straight up like, let's light it on fire. And I believe I slapped Ted. It was like, like no.
Well, throwing him in a river or a pond is better.
All right, say it's you. All right, so it's you, and it's
would you rather die by fire?
All right, Ted, we caught you trying to grab that donut. We got you on the glue trap. Now, we can't pull you off the glue trap without causing you severe pain, and we don't guarantee you live. So either we can light you on fire, or we're gonna throw you in the retention pond.
Yeah,
I'm picking the pond, man.
Yeah, if I'm going to die, I'd rather drown than be burned to death.
Did anybody at least pull the Cheeto off and give it to the guy while he was sitting there laying there?
No,
didn't even cross our mind.
No,
see, that would have been the option that I would have done. Like, you know what, you earned a Cheeto here. I might grab a fresh one out of the bag and give it to him that he could just munch on there.
He almost earned a Cheeto. He didn't get a participation ribbon, man.
So close.
This isn't first goddamn grade. Either you get the Cheeto or you don't. And look, man.
Into the retention pond.
You gave it the college try. You put your effort in. We could tell.
We don't even know if he laid it in the water. He could have been stuck there for days and eaten by another animal.
Yeah.
I simply was like, let's just end it. Let's just get him out of it.
You wouldn't want to eat that glue. Like, even if I yanked that guy off there, man, his whole body was covered in glue. He couldn't even gone anywhere. His legs would have stuck together.
The squirrels don't care.
What do you mean?
So I'm saying, we're hoping, Miles is hoping he made it to that pond.
Yeah.
He might have fallen short. And then the squirrels were like, oh, look, fresh mouse.
I don't think that Miles was hoping it made it to the pond, just like, I'm assuming it made it to the pond. Because if you hope.
He could have got picked apart live by crows.
You know, it probably was. It's probably, to be honest with you, that's probably the fate. By the way, a couple things. The reason people use cheese, according to our more astute listeners, it says cheese is extremely aromatic. It produces a heavy scent. That's why they use cheese with mice when they do maze tests. They don't necessarily love it, but apparently the way to go, peanut butter.
Yeah. Peanut butter.
Yeah, everybody's like, look, man, it's peanut butter. Everyone. And one other person says they used a protein bar.
I don't even like protein bars.
I don't either.
I guess we finally found someone who actually likes a protein bar and just doesn't eat it because they need the protein.
I would give the protein bar to the mouse. Like, look, if you can leave the rest of my food alone, I will leave some Cliff bars all over the floor.
Actually, the peanut butter ones aren't bad.
Some of them are pretty good, man.
Yeah, there's a couple of them out there that are not
the best ones, the ones that taste the best, generally don't really have a lot of healthy value to them.
It's just straight protein.
It just says protein. It's like, well, I could just eat a candy bar.
And here's something, I hate to debunk this for this person. Now, Miles, you pointed out the fleas in my old place, right? And they never bit me. They'd attack Miles at 10. I said they're racist. They didn't want to bite black people. Someone says thrill. The web is full of anecdotes about fleas staying away from people that smoke lots of weed. Maybe the fleas aren't racist. They're just too straight-laced for your stoned ass. Now, again, they attacked Miles.
Yeah, I didn't smoke weed back then, so that makes sense. But Miles,
trust me. I don't think I've stopped.
Right.
Still on that train. What did Mother Nature offer up that you just did not want to deal with? 206-421-ROCK.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
For tank and tankless hot water heaters, for clogged drains, for leaky faucets, for toilets that won't flush. Stop freaking and call Beacon. Beacon Plumbing, Heating, and Mechanical is your trusted source to solve all your plumbing needs. 1-800-FREAKIN or beaconplumbing.net.
99.9 KISW. Yeah! You're in the men's room.
Our question, what did Mother Nature offer up that you did not want to deal with? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Wes. Welcome to the men's room.
Bush.
Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Beer. Big pause there.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, sir. So, I just want to say real quick, in 2008, I super appreciate you guys because I was driving from St. Louis to Seattle and heard you guys and have not stopped listening since.
Oh, thank you, man.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
You guys are rad. So anyway, I'm living in Tennessee right now, and I was going hunting a couple years back, and so I park at the end of the property, at the beginning of the property, and I walk through the woods, and I go find my tree stand, and this tree stand was not that great because we made it ourselves out of like pallets and some tarps.
I like the honesty. It wasn't great because we made it.
You kind of made a treehouse.
Yeah, I mean, it was on the ground, so it's like a ground house.
All right.
But so I walk into the deer stand, and I get my chair set up, and I got my rifle, and I got my handgun just in case, because lately we've been seeing like black bears really a lot in Tennessee. So I just had my handgun on me in case something, just got too close. And I was sitting there, and it's about an hour before sunset, and I hear something like on the tarps on top of the deer blind, and I just don't know what it is. And then so I kind of look down, check my phone, take a drink of water, and I look up, and I'm face to face with not a black snake.
With not a black snake?
Yeah, so it definitely was venomous. So it wasn't just like a rat snake.
What do you think it was, a copperhead?
I don't know. I think it fell out of a tree. Either it was a copperhead or it was a rattler, or like I wasn't near water, so it wasn't a moccasin. But I mean, face to face, tongue out, I'm looking at this snake, and I mean, you get the cold chills. And
Why was your tongue out?
Hey,
Well,
baby.
That's awfully strange.
Hi, baby.
I mean, that's how I hunt deer. You know?
Okay,
Like Michael Jordan.
Like Jordan.
So what ended up happening? Did you blast a snake?
So I just slowly sat back into my chair because I started to look up because if you hear a noise, I mean, you kind of think something's coming into the field. So I kind of had my rifle ready to look into the field and look around. And I slowly sat back. I put my rifle down and I grabbed my handgun. And I just sat real far back and shot that snake right in the face and then just hightailed it up the field. I didn't even care about going through the woods. I was like, screw it. We're done for the day. I'm going to my truck. I'm going home.
Yeah, that's a good time to.
I like that after you shoot the snake in the face, now you're running. I think I would feel more secure at that point. Like, all right, that is definitely taking care
I want to
of.
check it out, see what the hell it was. That's a fact. What part of Tennessee do you live in?
So I live just south of Fort Campbell, Kentucky, in Clarksville.
Okay, it's going to get hot there very soon.
So that means nothing to me. I have no idea what part of Tennessee you're from, but okay.
So go to Nashville, go
All right.
45 minutes north, you're there.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
There you go. Bam.
I was going to say, have you been to a game in Knoxville yet?
I have not been to a game in Knoxville, but I will tell you, like, the Predators games are awesome.
Oh,
They
yeah?
have a great fan base.
So I was going to say, like, Tennessee football is not very good anymore, but go to a Tennessee football game. It's a blast.
Yeah, I would think the experience would be worth it. Okay, we got
Yeah,
our
I had
hockey
to do
team.
the flyover for Vanderbilt versus Tennessee and homecoming, so that was rad.
Well, they didn't play too bad against the Hurricanes the other night, so maybe they'll be all right. Maybe get a playoff team there.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, man.
Maybe.
What did Mother Nature offer up to you that you didn't want to deal with? 206-421-ROCK.
Montgomery, you throwing out hockey knowledge now?
I mean, I watch a game, too.
That's just impressive. I never heard you talk about hockey or basketball
He's
until this
staying
year.
up there.
bored.
The Kraken signed their first player, so the Mouse is on.
I'm bored.
Now that our team has its official first player, Mouse is there.
I'm bored, man. I got nothing.
I mean, look, I respect it. Sorry, I didn't mean to stop the show. It just caught me off guard. I'm like, that was a hockey playoff picture. All right, yeah.
Yeah, when you said Hurricanes, I went through my head. I'm like, hockey. I'll be damned. All right.
I was like, they played
I gotta
Miami.
play more regional games right now.
I know. I went Miami as well. Hello, Eric. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
All right, so quick back. I have a very simple rule with animals. If it does not have fur, feathers, or fish scales, it can just go away. So snakes, frogs, lizards, any of that stuff, it's gone.
I'm with you. I like this theory.
Fur, feathers, and fish scales. The only thing that gets around that is turtles.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, nobody sweats turtle. I don't know. I mean, those things will snap their neck out, break your finger.
Oh, man, you don't even know the power
I think it's because they look dopey. You know what I mean? It wouldn't matter if turtles suck the blood out of babies. You're like, but it looks like that. I just can't buy it.
That was the biggest threat of when you're going just to sane minnows and stuff, was accidentally kicking a
snapping turtle.
A snapping turtle in the stream, because, man, they'll just grab a hold of your foot, your shoe. They will not let go.
Nope.
No. You can kick them into a rock. They will not let go.
Oh, no, not at all.
But we still love them.
Yeah.
They're
still awesome.
Right.
About a decade ago, I went and I was out in Hawaii, and I called because you guys brought up koki frogs. So I went out to Hawaii to work on a macadamia nut farm.
Of course, just
And
like everybody else
done
does.
that.
Yeah,
My
come
God,
on.
yeah.
Talk about something original.
Hey, it sounded like fun.
Was it?
But I get out there, and I go to the building I'm going to be staying in, find out it's basically a condemned building, like holes in the walls, just POS. So I set up, I'm like, all right, whatever. So I set up shop. I very quickly found out that the geckos decide that they're just going to crawl out one hole, cross my wall, into another hole. You can lay in bed. They're just stuttering all over beneath the bed.
Geckos are kind of like pigeons, right? Just like pigeons just aren't really scared of people. You know, they might get out of your way, but unless you chase them, they're cool with you. I was in Florida, and the same thing with the geckos. It just blew my mind. Like, every other animal at least tries to kind of hide or creep or wait till it's dark, right? You know what I mean? But geckos are straight up like, yeah, I know you can see me, dog. I'm going to go ahead and walk across your toast. I mean, like, they don't care.
Like, what are you going to do about it, bro?
You know what? And you know what? Nothing, really.
I got to ask you a question. Were you working for Roseanne Barr?
No.
Okay.
Now, she's the macadamia queen.
Yeah, she owns like tons of macadamia nut farms in Hawaii.
No, I got a buddy, and his dad owns a small farm that he just makes candy with all his macadamia nuts, so he just needed somebody to come out and work for a little bit.
I gotta be honest with you, man. In the nut world, I'm not sure. Like, how would I know that I stumbled upon a macadamia nut farm? Like, what does the plant look like?
But I know what the nut looks like, right? But the plant.
Yeah, what is
it? Just looked like a chunk of property with like a bunch of trees on it. There was nothing special about it.
So it's a tree. So macadamia nuts come from a tree.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
that's what I was getting at.
They're kind of like they're kind of like a ping pong ball size shell.
Okay. Damn.
That you got to crack open. You got to roast them and then crack them.
Okay. All right.
Like coffee?
But yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Okay.
Where you want to roast it and then you want to crack the nut to get inside and it's going to be good.
All right.
But I'm out there and I find out about these geckos. I'm like, okay, this is going to suck, but I can deal with this. All right. And then I go to sleep. Well, I try to go to sleep because there's all these coqui frogs right outside my door.
Now, were you aware of what coqui frogs were before you started hearing these things?
I honestly didn't believe it was a frog because it sounds like a cuckoo clock.
That's what they sound like. Mike, can you pull up the audio for a coqui? I know it's out there offered. I mean, because I've been reading about them more because Hawaii, I guess they're not indigenous to Hawaii. They're more indigenous to Puerto Rico. I only read this earlier. But Hawaii is like, we need to kill these things. And what's crazy about it, man, so I don't know what you know about these things, but they said, look, based on like trying to poison them and all these things, that's not the way to go. So the plan right now to get rid of the coqui frogs is to remove a bunch of trees, dry out the area, and hope they go away.
Oh, have fun.
Yeah, that's my thought.
It's so wet out there.
How loud are these
Have
things?
fun.
I read they get up to like 100 decibels or something.
Oh, they're really loud. They're really loud. The problem is they're really high pitched. And when there's like 100 of them going off, it's like 100 cuckoo clocks all at once.
It's like my daughter's birthday party.
All night.
Okay.
Oh, it's bad.
Let's see if we get some of that audio there.
So
here.
Oh,
God.
high-pitched.
Yeah.
Bring back memories.
Oh, God, it's horrible.
So how long were you able to tolerate it? Did you buy earplugs? What'd you do?
Oh, I just learned how to sleep through it. I mean, because the problem was, so that was I get there, I find out about the geckos. I try and go to sleep and I find out about the coqui frogs. I go to wake up in the morning and I find out that the next door neighbors, they have roosters.
Oh, God.
Well, everybody has roosters.
Yeah.
I thought they were even like wild. Hold on.
I mean, you're right, but
Once again, bedroom colors, here are the 7 words you can't say on the radio. Sucker, mother, and please keep those words in mind when calling. Now, back to the program.
That sounds a little bit strange.
My apologies,
No.
gentlemen.
Here's the thing.
We get it.
Here's the thing. Just so you know, it's just a strange rule, but we might as well tell everybody. You can say ass, but when you bring up the Buckeye, the back end of that, you can't say that. So for whatever reason,
So
they
you
just
say the
divided
first
into
half.
that too. You can say the first.
But it's
half.
so weird. Like, the offensive one would be the first part, I
Yeah,
think.
but not you can't say whole, but you can
Not
say
with,
the other
right.
thing. Right. Now with the other thing.
There's a lot of weird things.
I don't understand why that is. You should not know that. I'm just trying to explain
I got in
it to
trouble
you.
early in my career, and I will not get fired for this, but apparently FCC frowned, and I said a woman had a great, what do you call it?
Turd cutter.
Turd cutter, right? Just a quick passing thing. Boss goes, did you say turd cutter? So, well, yeah, because the alternative is ass. And he goes, well, you can absolutely say ass, which is so crazy to me. I'm like, but if my kid says ass, he's in trouble. If he said log chopper turd cut, I don't care.
Yeah, giggle.
And, right. So, yeah, that's how it works in this weird world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Well, again, my apologies.
no problem. No problem, man.
So how long were you there? How long were you on doing this macadamia deal?
About a month and a half.
Pay
Not
pretty
a
good?
long time, but it was fun.
Did it pay pretty good?
No.
No.
Okay.
But you're in
No, but
Hawaii.
I was out in Hawaii, so I wasn't complaining.
Right, that's
exactly.
the exchange. We're not going to pay you much, but you're here. Right?
Okay.
I mean, I would take the gig.
Oh, yeah.
Is it that weird, though, to hear that many sounds on a farm?
In Hawaii?
I don't think it's that unusual to hear that many sounds, but I just, and I don't know if this is true, but in my mind, if I'm on a farm, then the sounds I expect to hear are the more domestic things we expect. Pigs, cows, all this kind of thing. But if I had to listen to those coqui frogs all night, I would lose my mind.
But you also remember it's a tropical island. So a lot like Puerto Rico. I mean, all you hear is birds all day long. I mean, there's
But at
so
least
many
they
species
sound
of
like
birds.
we have birds that squawk. You know, once you get around palm trees, you get a lot of birds that sing. It's not so bad. I mean, they're loud and all that, but there's something positive about it. You
But
know
not
what I mean?
all night long. It's like the person is like, come on, when's this party going to end? You know what I mean? Like the stereo's still on. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Surely they're going to shut this down, and it goes until 5:30 to the sun.
But see, that's the problem with places that seem to have palm trees, right? So because he pretty much nailed it. Every day part, if you break it into 3 different 8-hour shifts, it's like one animal punches out, right? So you have the birds all day. And we have the basic show. We're going to make noise. And when they're done, because the sun's going down, it's like they punch out the coqui frogs. They
frogs,
punch in.
Crickets, all those
They make all this freaking noise. But it's never just
You ever heard audio of like a jungle at night?
Dude, yeah. And
it is frightening.
It is because, like a lot of people, you always entertain this idea. I'd love to go on safari and all that. And I would. I really would. But when you listen to the things at night, I hear more growling than I thought I would. You know what I mean? Like, you always expect crickets, and it's like, sure, there's a few crickets here and there. And then in the background, I'm not okay with that.
That's the biggest problem with this whole cicada thing that's going on the East Coast right now. The 17-year cicada is, once you get over the fact that these bugs are harmless for the most part, a lot of people are even talking about just different ways to eat them at this point because they have a lot of nutrients in them.
Yeah, sure.
So, whatever. But, once one lands on you, you kind of freak out for the first time because,
they're huge.
Such a big bug.
And they're black with red eyes.
It's like a palmetto bug. It's just too big for its own good. It's not going to hurt you. It's just a big-ass bug. But the hum is for 2.5 months. And
it sounds like a scream.
There's this non-stop,
but it's 24 hours a day.
It does not stop.
Day, night,
no matter where you go. It's just this buzz. And oh my God, when is this going to end? And they eat everything, and they're just buzzing everywhere. And it's really more about the noise. Like
it is.
If you're one of these people that sleep with the window open in the summer or whatever, can't do it.
And the other thing is they have these weird, spiky feet, right? So, if they land on your shirt...
You can't pull them off very easily.
You can't just, brush them off because they've hooked in. And they're really stupid, and they're very docile, but you can see their eyeballs looking at you. You got to, grab them by the wings.
And the eyes are red. So they got devil eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're horrible. You know what else they get into a lot? People's hair.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, they do.
You know what? This time, you're right.
Right.
Bald people, they got nothing to grab, so they fly off.
Right, and they're, like you said, they're harmless, but I can feel them on me right now. It's a problem. It's a bug, a decent-sized bug on you.
And see, that's
many, more than one.
And they're very light, so you don't necessarily know they're on you, but you'll walk in your place of work, and people are like, dude, you have 3 cicadas on you. There's 2 on your back, there's 1 on your shoulder.
And you just walk them outside and take them out. What did Mother Nature offer up that you did not want to deal with? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Atube. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, what's good, y'all? How you doing?
Hola.
Can you hear me well? I'm in my truck right now.
Yeah, we got you.
Actually, we got you, brother.
All right, right on. Well, a few years back, probably closer to 10, my wife and my 2 boys found a turtle upside down on a trail on the way to the lake, and they brought it home. And I told them, we cannot keep this as a pet. This is a wild animal. But I'm dad, so why in the world would anybody listen to me? I'm just there to bring home the money.
Right.
So they get a little kiddie pool. They put rocks in it. The whole time I'm like, man, we should just bring it back to the lake. Because my wife did, bring it back to life because the thing was almost dead. And I'm like, man, let's bring it back to the lake. Well, Friday, we go downstairs and try to watch a kid movie with the kids. And we're sitting downstairs waiting for Mom. So I go back upstairs, and I start to flip out because I think somebody has broken in the house and cut my wife's face. But what happened is she grabbed the turtle, held it up to her face, and the thing bit her lip and took out a chunk of her lip.
Oh! You don't know how far that neck comes out on those turtles.
And now the turtle made your wife ugly.
I mean, sometimes it's the length of their actual shell that the neck can extend out.
Yes.
It looks like a gooey duck as far as how big the tongue is when it comes out. You're like, oh my God, I didn't know what was inside that shell. It's insane.
I tell you what, this turtle was huge. It was like if you have those big saucer plates, it was like the shell was that big.
How bad was her lip?
It was nice that the turtle's mouth was razor sharp because it just split it. Because it was a lip, it peeled back, so it looked kind of like a triangle. But when they sewed it up and everything, it was she looks normal now. But sitting at the hospital, man, I had to go outside because my wife is I don't deserve her. I'm going to say that up front. She is a wonderful, kind, sweethearted person, and I am not at all. And she is sitting in there smiling at people, trying to talk to people. And I'm like, baby, you're idiots. Stop talking to people. I'm so sorry. And so I just had to go outside and smoke a cigarette and wait for her to get sewn up. But it's like, unless she points it out, you don't notice it now.
How long before you kiss her weird-looking mouth again?
Absolutely immediately. I love her to death. Yeah. I don't deserve her.
Did you take the turtle back to the lake eventually?
Absolutely, because I said to everybody, we got a choice. Look, Daddy gets mad when somebody hurts his family and they hurt the queen at his king's house. I'm going to kill the turtle or we're bringing it back.
I mean,
that is spoken like a true father, man. That's the point you get to.
But that's the thing with turtles, right? Because like where I grew up, they're everywhere. But you can tell the difference between a box turtle and a snapping turtle on their shell. Plus, the other rule that you found out the hard way was like, if you grab a turtle, you just put him literally in a box outside with some lettuce, and by the morning, he knocks it over and he's gone.
Yeah.
We were never allowed to bring him in the house or get too close to him.
No, that's why if you do have them as pets, they're normally in an aquarium.
Right.
With a net on top. You know what I mean? You don't.
Yeah, and you'll spend an hour, not an hour, you'll spend 15 minutes thinking you got a fish. It's a damn turtle.
Not only that, but as far as things that you can keep as pets, turtles smell the worst.
They smell awful.
They are the worst. What did Mother Nature offer up that you did not want to deal with? 206-421-ROCK.